optimize the G11 for sunset pictures, you'll need to know how to access the sunset scene mode. You may need to use the program mode. You might need to use the manual focus. You'll need to turn the flash off. You may need to set the ISO. You'll have to set the white balance, and you might need to set the timer function. Let's begin with the mode dial. Go ahead and set this to SCN. This stands for scene. In the back, use your control wheel to move through the scenes until you get to sunset. What this does is optimize the camera for sunset scene modes. Everything is pretty much automated for you. I find that this mode does not give me the kind of control that I want when shooting sunset pictures, so I prefer using the program mode. Turn your mode dial to P. If you can't autofocus on the horizon, which is probably what has the most contrast with the sunset, you may need to use the manual focus. Go ahead and place your focusing square over the horizon and press the shutter button halfway. If you find that the square turns yellow instead of green, it means that the camera is not able to lock focus, so you'll have to use the manual focus. It's very simple. Go ahead and press the up navigation button, or MF right here, and just turn your control dial until the manual focus gauge goes up to infinity. You'll have to turn the flash off because it's not going to do any good in a sunset picture. Press the flash button right here, or the right navigation button, and use your control dial to move over to flash off. Press set or give it a second to go away. You'll need to set your ISO to 80. The ISO dial is located right here underneath the mode dial. Make sure this is set to 80 ISO. 80 will produce the cleanest image possible, and that's exactly what you want with sunset images. You'll need to set the white balance as well. Press the function button. White balance is at the top. Normally it's set to auto white balance, which will be okay, but if you want more accurate colors, go ahead and set it to daylight. If you want the oranges and reds in the sky to be even more saturated, go ahead and set this to cloudy. This will warm up the tones even more. You can take this even a step further if you go down to the My Color function and choose Vivid. This will saturate the colors in the sky very nicely. Usually, however, I don't use this function because I just saturate the colors in the sky with the computer later on. Press function to escape the function menu. Finally, you want to test the shutter speed and make sure it's fast enough to hand hold the shot. Press the shutter button halfway. Mine right now is set to 1/40th of a second, which is really just fine. If yours is below 1/40th of a second, you might need to use a tripod, or at least set the camera down on something steady. If you do that, you're going to want to use the timer function. Press the timer button right down here, it's the down navigation button, and set this to 2 seconds. What this does is allow you to release the camera once you've pressed the shutter button. That way, the camera has a chance to stop shaking before the picture is captured. I'm going to assume you don't need the manual focus because the horizon is bright enough, so I'll press the manual focus button to escape that mode. I'm also going to assume that there's enough light so you don't need to use the timer function, so I'll press down to access the timer function and go back up to turn that off. Now I'm ready to take my picture. My flash is turned off, my ISO is set to 80, and my white balance is set to cloudy. Place the focusing square over the horizon or something in the distance. Press the shutter button halfway to lock focus. Once focus is locked, you can recompose the image the way you want it. Once the image is composed the way you want it, you can go ahead and press the shutter button the rest of the way to take the picture.